G20 is calling on the government to learn lessons from the pandemic to foster greater gender equality and promote female empowerment. Giorgia Orlandi has more.
Addressing the gender gap is the top priority of the W20. This year, the presidency of the engagement group was handed over to Italy. It's a fortunate coincidence given Italy is a country where female employment has collapsed as a result of the pandemic. Here in Rome, during the W20's kick-off event, we met the chair, Linda Laura Sabadini. She's also the director of the National Institute of Statistics, and she tells us why numbers matter.
From a historic point of view, something similar has never happened. In previous crises, the industrial sector was mainly hit, where there was an increased presence of men. In this case, other sectors have been affected by the crisis, such as tourism and restaurants, but also hotels. Here is where the presence of women is very significant. They usually have precarious and irregular jobs.
Italy was one of the countries worst hit by the pandemic, and when it comes to gender issues, there are lessons to learn from this.
When it comes to the gender pay gap, Italy was already at the bottom of the chart in Europe. In Italy, employment rates are very low, especially among young women. So since women have suffered most of the consequences of the pandemic, we hope this can help increase our commitment to improve things.
Addressing violence against women and promoting environmental sustainability are the two core issues of this year's W20.
If we want to solve the crisis, we have to start finding the right cure. The crisis is unfolding at a time when the technological revolution is underway that will change the future of labour, but also at the time of the climate crisis. So we have to find the right strategy with regards to these three aspects.
But Italy is also a country where women are underrepresented in the political sphere. A group of women called Half of It wrote an open letter to Giuseppe Conte's government calling for increased involvement of women in the decision-making process relating to the spending of EU funds. According to Francesca Betti of the think tank In Genere, the government should take specific steps when addressing the gender gap.
The number one priority should be addressing the low female employment rate. That doesn't mean that this is going to be the only issue, but certainly that has to become the parameter to use when assessing the success of the country's economic recovery plan.
As the debate over gender equality continues, the message more and more women, including the W20 group, want to get across is clear. In a world where half of the population is made of women, it's time to call not just for inclusion, but more importantly, for female empowerment. Giorgia Orlandi for Euronews in Rome.
You're with Good Morning Europe. Don't go anywhere. I'll be keeping you up to date in a couple of minutes.